fighting out of the Big Apple, New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger, Hector Acero Sanchez. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trimmed with green and white, weighing 120 1/2 pounds. His professional record, a perfect 22-0 with 18 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, con Tijuana, Mexico, presenting the NABF Super Bantamweight Champion, Terrible Erik Morales.
Give you instructions in the dressing room. Remember, there is no standing 8 count. This is for the NABF.
Míralo, Morales, míralo.
12 rounds.
Míralo.
Good luck, and let's go to work.
Tú sabes que somos campeón, bro. Somos campeón.
Referee is Jay Nady from Dallas, Texas, with the final instructions. This is the North American Boxing Federation Championship at 122 pounds. Super bantamweights. Erik Morales, the champion, 20 years of age, from Tijuana, Mexico, and Hector Acero Sanchez from the Dominican Republic in the Bronx, New York. The more experienced boxer of the two, 26 years of age, 4 title fights, has wins over the likes of Eddie Croft, Tracy Patterson when he won the title, the WBC crown, defended it twice, and then split with Daniel Zaragoza. Also has a win over Frankie Toledo. Morales says his best win was against Enrique Jupiter, who was Mexican champion at the time of the win by Morales. Morales in red, Acero Sanchez in black. Gil, I think the first thing you would be likely to say is Acero Sanchez is difficult for anybody who's boxing.
Very, very difficult. You'll watch, he does everything. Changes his height, bends low, steps to the right, goes back to the left. But he's a sneak kind of a puncher. When he won the championship from Tracy Patterson, they told Patterson, you're going to have to be aggressive, you're going to have to do this. And the second round, he walked right into one of Sanchez's uppercuts, one of his best punches, and he had Patterson on the deck. And that was really the difference in the fight. And you see, again, he throws a combination, and he's moving at the same time. It's very difficult to do.
Very crafty fighter. He is adaptable in the ring. He's very defensive-minded. He doesn't get hit very solidly many times.
Look at that head movement.
Erik Morales knew that. He said he is a fighter with many traits to make you look bad.
Well, when you fight a guy like Hector Sanchez, what you should be doing is just looking at that body and throw punches to the body, because the head moves, but the body doesn't move.
Exactly.
He's got a good left hook in.
Yeah, especially early, too, in a fight. Go downstairs to that body and then stop a lot of that head movement. It's easier to move the head than it is the body.
First good punch of the fight came from Morales, the 20-year-old champion. He comes from boxing heritage. His father was a professional fighter. In fact, his dad fought Orlando Canizales, the champion, when he was 32 years of age. And in fact, Morales was scheduled to meet Canizales as well, but the fight didn't come off, and that would have been quite a historic thing in boxing, a father and a son fighting the same opponent.
Morales' hand speed, Tim, is impressing me, and it's very, very early in the fight. Very good hand speed.
Yeah, but we'll have to see if that slows down with this heat. He says he is a classy boxer, and he says he's a complete fighter. Erik Morales does. Says he can fight inside, but prefers to use his legs and lateral movement and fight on the outside. His best punch is the right cross. He's trying to take more charge in his style, and you see him doing that here. A little bit more aggression from him moving forward.
We're in round 1, scheduled for 12. Gil, I would think that when you watch Acero Sanchez, even though it's effective for him, it must drive you nuts to see such a wide stance, but he gets away with it.
He certainly did. That's why he's not a big puncher.
Left to the body from Acero Sanchez, and then right over the top.
Only 21 KOs in his 33 wins for Sanchez. Fighters must use leverage off the floor. To do that, they spread their legs. When their legs are already spread, you don't have much spread left in them.
Corner of
Erik Morales, his father Jose, who you talked about earlier, Tim.
Oscar De La Hoya is arriving at Caesar's Palace for tonight's featured championship bout, and like Chavez, looking very relaxed. Two confident champions. De La Hoya moving up to 140 pounds to challenge the legendary Julio Cesar Chavez. And so much in pride at stake here in this bout, along with a lot of money and prestige. But when you have a Mexican national like Chavez, a Mexican-American like De La Hoya, and you have a Mexican and Mexican-American crowd here and around the country and in Mexico, there is a lot of pride at stake in the featured bout tonight. This is round 2, scheduled for 12. Also from Mexico is the NABF champion Erik Morales in red. And the challenger is Hector Acero Sanchez from the Dominican Republic. Won the WBC title at this weight over Tracy Patterson and then lost it to Daniel Zaragoza. Little redness at the bridge of the nose of Erik Morales. Nothing serious at this point.
Morales is really letting it all hang out with those bombs he's throwing, and he has not been landing the punches. And in this heat, that could tire him out in a lot of rounds.
Spearing jab from Morales, just putting your punches out there in these first 3 rounds, especially championship fights. First 3 rounds, you don't want to expend too much energy. You want to put your punches out, get into the mode of the fight, you set the tempo, set the rhythm, take your time and try to set up your opponent. Oh, and you see some of that movement from Acero Sanchez. See that side-to-side movement that he was using in there? Oh, that is so confusing. You don't know where your opponent's going to go.
Morales showing very good concentration, and he'll need that against the very nifty and elusive Acero Sanchez. Good counter punching by Acero Sanchez. Combination landing with finishing with a right hand over the top. And Morales gets a good left hook in. And a right to the body from Morales.
Taking a look at the punch stat numbers from round 1. Morales about 30% accurate through 44 punches, connected 13. Acero Sanchez 44 punches thrown and connected 20. So Acero Sanchez more focused with his shots. He's 47% accurate. But again, these first 3 rounds more or less setting the pace and setting the tempo of the night. You want to show your opponent who's the boss in those first 3. Also, you want to try your shots on your opponent. Just connect. Early in this fight, throw the shots. You don't want to miss punches like that.
And Morales is starting to breathe through the mouth already, Sean, and it's only the 2nd round.
Yeah, very hard to get your air here in Las Vegas. The air is quite thin.
And you know, when you've had 22 fights and scored 18 knockouts, that means you haven't been in the ring too often for any length of time. That could be a big factor in this fight.
As we go later, you're right.
Final seconds of the 2nd round upcoming.
Good jab from Acero Sanchez, and turning around to the southpaw stance. He likes to confuse his opponents.
Good round for Hector Acero Sanchez. In fact, Morales has gone 11 rounds once and 12 rounds twice in his career, but as you point out, most of them have been shorter distances because of his knockout record of 18 KOs in 22 bouts.
Tú viste cómo él tiene la cara y está respirando bien fuerte. Yo quiero que me lo haga a trabajar. Tiene que trabajar muy duro. Okay?
Looking into the corner of Hector Acero Sanchez.
Yeah, nice relaxed Hector Acero Sanchez.
That's it, baby.
Sit on that stool and breathe.
Te me estás echando mucho para la derecha de él, ¿ok? Te quiero más para el otro side.
Erik Morales also sitting on his corner and breathing. The more breaths you can take between rounds, the more that's going to help you when you go out there in the center of the ring. You talked about him breathing through his mouth. Your mouth is real dry here when you fight. Lips get chapped, and the air is so dry it's hard to suck it in. Here's a look at the punch stat CompuBox through round 2. Acero Sanchez 88 thrown, landed 45, 51%. He's connecting better. Morales, 97 thrown, 23 landed. Only 24% from him.
Gil Morales looks to me like he's lost a little bit of his poise already. He came out here very confidently in the first round, but whether it's the fatigue factor that you sense maybe in round 2.
Well, he's frustrated because Sanchez again is like fighting Quicksilver when you fight him. He's not there where you think he's going to be when you throw the punch, and he's missed a lot of big punches, and that takes a lot out of you. And Sean, as you had mentioned about breathing between rounds, years ago there was a cornerman by the name of Doc Riley that used to bring an oxygen tank into the ring between rounds. Now, I don't know whether you're allowed to do that now or not, but in a night like tonight, it wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Perfect here in Las Vegas, too. Good combination from Morales. Morales is just waiting for Sanchez to advance.
Well, it just doesn't happen,
Yeah,
Sean.
really, what you have here is you have 2 excellent boxers. And a lot of times when you put 2 boxers together, they get in the ring and they start boxing each other. If you have a boxer against a slugger, one of them forces the fight. The slugger, he tries to get on the inside. How effective both fighters would be with a jab. There's a left from Acero Sanchez. When you don't know what to do in a fight, you have to learn to jab. Anytime you don't know what to do, just put your left hand out. Even if it doesn't connect, it blinds your opponent momentarily. Then you can set up your right hand. And you control the fight when you jab.
Erik Morales is the champion here, but he is the less experienced boxer at age 20 with 22 fights, and Sanchez has had 39 fights in his pro career at age 26, and a former world champion, having won the WBC crown at this weight.
I think that Sanchez knows when Morales is going to throw a punch before Morales does.
This is ring generalship from him. He knows what he's doing. He knows his way around the ropes. He understands those 4 corners. Inside 30 seconds of round number 3. Look at that. A nice little push. This is experience. Frustrate Morales, too.
Again, Morales must have said, aha, I have him on the ropes.
Right.
1 second later, Sanchez wasn't there and he was down.
He was in the ropes. I think he was looking for the mouthpiece from that last fight.
Morales landed a good right to the body before he was tied up that time by Acero Sanchez. And that's the end of round 3. Another frustrating round by and large for the young champion, Erik Morales. We scored the first round for him. Acero Sanchez won the next 2 as we've seen it.
Oh, look at that wet towel over the head. Nice move.
That's Morales' father, Jose, in his corner.
Trying to come in with his power punches is Morales, but look at Acero Sanchez just moving out of the way of those shots. Side to side movement, then you step over and allow your opponent. This is like a bull and a matador. Watch Morales moving in. Look at this. This is just perfect movement. What you do in boxing is you imagine you have a ball, a basketball in the middle of your body. Any way that you can move from the top half of your body is what you should do. You should be able to move any way you could move if you actually had a basketball there.
This is round number 4, scheduled for 12. The NABF, North American Boxing Federation title at stake here. Super bantamweights, 122.
I think Butterbean has a basketball.
Yeah, he carries it with him all the time.
We'll find out.
We will be seeing Butterbean next.
This is the CompuBox concentrating on the jabs. And Acero Sanchez, 68. Only 54 from Morales.
Morales in red, Hector Acero Sanchez in black.
The jab controls the fight.
And now I think Morales' corner has told him to change his strategy because he's not chasing Sanchez now. He's allowing Sanchez to come to him.
Yeah, and how effective Sanchez is doing this. He moves in, throws a combination, and then he steps out before any retaliation.
But again, you can see Morales now moving backward.
Both landed jabs. That exchange. Morales trying to find the range. Acero Sanchez with the longer reach has had a little more effect with his jab, as those stats have shown us from CompuBox.
And look at this lateral movement from Morales. Nice work from Acero Sanchez, cornering up Morales.
Two punches up.
Control your opponent. Make him do what you want him to do, not what he wants to do. When he wants to box, you make him fight. When he wants to fight, make him box.
According to Acero Sanchez from the referee, Jane 80 for a low blow. Morales, good left to the body. A little better round, actually, for Morales with this new strategy. Go a little more of a counter-punching strategy.
Well, I just don't think he's scoring that much, though, Tim. Sanchez is doing most of the scoring.
Just dug another left to the body, did Morales.
And Sanchez just hit him with a good bomb and then a good snapping left hand.
Oh, yeah.
And another left hand.
Look at that focus from Sanchez. But I kind of agree with you a bit, Tim, in that Morales seems a little bit more relaxed this round. Last several rounds, he looked like he was forcing it.
Just caught Sanchez with a right hand, and that wobbled him.
Sanchez is hurt.
Morales seeing the advantage here and trying to seize it. Now we'll see if the wily Acero Sanchez with his movement can get out of trouble. Back out to the center of the ring, the safety there. But Morales definitely got his attention with a big right hand.
Yeah, he set that right hand up by relaxing this round. Going out, putting his punches in, not trying for the knockout. When you go there looking for a home run, you can't hit it.
Final seconds of round number 4, the scheduled 12-round championship fight for the NABF title.
Keep it up.
Now warning for a low blow to Morales, and there's the end of round number 4. Now let's go to Rick Lozano in the dressing room of the champion.
All right, thank you. We are here with a very calm, relaxed-looking Oscar De La Hoya in his dressing room. Oscar, you've had many big fights in the past, but anything that compares to this?
Well, there's nothing that compares to this because this event here is such a huge event. It's boxing history being made here on June 7th tonight, and I feel that that I've been in this situation before, but not exactly this type of magnitude of a fight.
What about the heat? Expected to be in the mid-90s out there when you step into the ring. Is that going to be a factor?
Well, of course it's going to be a factor. You know, the heat wears you down. The heat tires you out, and it's going to affect both of us. Every fighter who steps inside that ring is going to be affected. I feel that we just have to stay focused, or I have to stay focused, concentrate on my opponent, and not go away from my game plan, stick to my game plan, and not get sidetracked by the heat.
Oscar De La Hoya, very relaxed and getting ready for his big moment here at Caesars. Now back to you at ringside.
Thank you, Rick. We're ready now for round number 5. You heard the bell, but they took some Vaseline off Morales, and the referee, Jane 80, held up the start of the round momentarily. The champion is in red, Erik Morales, and the challenger, Hector Acero Sanchez, a former world champion, is the challenger for this title in black.
Yeah, a little bit more confidence. A little bit more confidence from the champion Morales. In that last round, he threw 41 punches, 19 connected with 46%. Acero Sanchez, 34 punches thrown, 17 connected with 50%, but the important thing is Acero Sanchez not punching as much as he was earlier in this fight. Good turning point back in that 4th round for the champion, Erik Morales.
The big right hand that stunned the challenger momentarily and put him on the defensive. 5th round, scheduled for 12. Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy and Sean O'Grady, former lightweight champion of the world.
Yeah, look at the movement this round from Sanchez. Trying to move in. Erik Morales with the lateral movement, still just trying to relax.
Hector Acero Sanchez, for the first 3 years of his pro career, all of his fights in the Dominican Republic, where he grew up, began his career. And came over to the U.S. and scored victories over Eddie Croft, Frank Toledo, Tracy Patterson, who won the WBC crown.
Good right hand by Morales.
Lost that title eventually to Daniel Zaragoza after a draw the first time they met.
The first time they met, the decision was, according to the WBC, a very, very bad decision, and they ordered the rematch. And in the rematch, Zaragoza won the championship.
Yeah. Acero Sanchez coming off a fight March 23rd with Rafael Rodriguez in New York. Stopped him in 5. Erik Morales has had 2 fights this year. Rudy Bradley here in Las Vegas, Lee Cargile in Tijuana. Knocked both of them out. He's been fighting since March of 1993. He turned pro. I'm trying to measure with that jab now as Morales. Leave that left out there, blind your opponent, and then crank with the right hand.
This round, I doubt if Morales landed more than 2 or 3 punches in the entire round.
But still trying to relax. And Acero Sanchez not putting as much pressure on as he was earlier in this fight. Remember those first 3 rounds?
Good left hook by Sanchez.
And another one back from Morales.
I heard that board slap for 10 seconds.
That's the end of round number 5. Let's go into the corner of Erik Morales, the champion. It's his father, Jose Morales.
Ahora tírale todo de abajo para arriba, tírale al cuerpo, ¿ok? Ya no te le camines tanto, no te le pongas del lado del sol porque te está encandilando la luz del sol y te está pegando más, ¿ok?
Try to fight with the sun on your back. The sun is hurting your eyes.
Para la mano del jab, eso es lo único que él quiere meter.
Strategy. We're in the Acero Sanchez quarter now, but the translation indicating that Papa Jose was saying try and keep the sun at your back because the sun's in your eyes, Erik, and you're not able to see your opponent as well. The sun is just about to drop down behind the arena behind us and will no longer be a factor in just a couple of minutes' time. Won't be a factor for the boxers.
Outstanding strategy, though. When you have the sun to your back, your opponent has to look into the sun. He's blinded momentarily, and you can crack to him.
There's a good body shot from Acero Sanchez. We're in the 6th round, scheduled for 12. Morales in red. Acero Sanchez in black. Good left jab from the champion.
Good comeback in that 5th round from Acero Sanchez. Threw 34 punches, landed 13, 38%. Morales, 32 punches, 7 landed, only 22%.
Little blood from the nose of the champion, Morales. Digging into the body, landed right one on the belt. He gets a warning from the referee.
Well, that's where he should be punching, though. Tim is very frustrated to keep missing those head punches and getting counted by Sanchez.
Yeah, in fact, that's what I heard with my Spanish, my high school Spanish over there in the corner. They were asking him to go downstairs to the body a bit from Morales. Oh, good right hand from Morales. You got to put 2 of those punches together. Acero Sanchez is so ring-wise, it's hard to catch him with 2 punches in a row. You catch him with 1, and he knows to move. Nice little side-to-side movements, now turning to the southpaw stance, doing anything he can to confuse Morales.
Again, he made Morales waste a lot of energy in that flurry.
Yeah, this is just experience.
And again, nice body punching by Sanchez. Good left hook by Sanchez. A little bit of a slap, though.
A little more blood from the nose of Morales. Not a major problem for him, but it's bothersome enough breathing-wise for him to be wiping it. And there's a right hand just again of it, though. Sanchez again just able to pull back, reducing the impact.
Yeah, pull back just enough to take the power out of the shot and also to frustrate Morales.
We're in the 6th round, scheduled for 12 of this NABF Super Bantamweight Championship bout, 122 pounds.
Good left hook to the body by Morales.
Yeah, good left hook to the body. And you see how the right hand of Sanchez really slowed down from that left hook to the body. Oh, smacking right hand again.
There's another right hand. He wobbled him that time. Morales catching him with the right. And the bell sounds, and Acero Sanchez having difficulty finding his corner. Huge shot from Morales. The punching the better puncher of the two. 18 knockouts in his 22 victories, and he wobbled Acero Sanchez.
Yeah, he's hurt. They need to do everything they can to revive him. Using that inswell in the eye, try to take some of the swelling out of that left eye. Here's a look at it. Watch this right hand. Nice setup from Morales. Acero Sanchez moving in and crack. Now watch, this is called the hoedown. This little dance that you make your opponents do. One side of their body goes to sleep, and right there, hoedowning. Correct, just on the side of the jaw. And the left foot goes to sleep of Hector Acero Sanchez. You don't catch him with many combinations.
Round number 7. Let's see whether the champion, Erik Morales, who we have behind on the cards, can turn this fight around here in the 7th, scheduled for 12.
And if I were in Morales' corner, I'd ask for a fast start from him. Acero Sanchez may still be out from that hard right hand shot in the 6th round. There's the punch stat numbers. CompuBox, 230 punches thrown. More shots from both fighters.
Sean, you're absolutely right. If I would have been in Morales' corner, he would have been across that ring when the bell rang.
Right.
Throwing those first couple of punches to the body and really make a war out of it.
Absolutely. They missed a golden opportunity there. They had Acero Sanchez ready to go. And this round, you see what they're doing. They're stepping back. In boxing, you have to have that, what they call it in boxing is a killer instinct. When your opponent's ready to be taken out of the fight, you have to help him get out of the fight. And sometimes that means knocking him out. Not letting him suffer anymore.
That is so true.
Well, at least Morales knows that he has the power to do some damage to Acero Sanchez. So with still lots of fight left here, we're in the 7th round, scheduled for 12. Morales looks like he's just patiently waiting for that one clear shot.
Yeah, Acero Sanchez knows that too. In fact, I can see Acero Sanchez blinking his eyes as if to say, I'm still hurt. I'm trying to clear the cobwebs.
Well, not only that, he's not throwing the number of punches he was throwing in the earlier rounds.
No, but he is recuperating here. He's hurt still. Cobwebs in the head.
Morales looking like he's loading up on the right hand, and meanwhile not scoring punches either.
Morales likes when he takes his opponent out with one clean shot. And that's what he's trying to do, is set up Acero Sanchez to accept that one clean punch.
Well, the tempo and tenor of the fight changing dramatically here in the 7th after the near knockdown by Erik Morales in the final seconds of round 6. A big right hand staggering Acero Sanchez. And they've both been very cautious here on the 7th. Morales looking to load up with the right hand again, and Acero Sanchez fighting very, very cautiously.
But Sanchez has been scoring some punches.
Yeah, not much though, Gil. I mean,
Acero and Morales really hasn't scored a punch that I've seen.
No, but the other guy hasn't done much either. I mean, they're just both being real careful. Acero Sanchez in black, the champion Morales in red. Final seconds of the 7th round, a somewhat uneventful round.
Acero Sanchez lasted.
And that's the end of the 7th round. Scheduled for 12, this NABF title fight. And let's take you now to our reporter Fernando Paramo.
Julio, after 99 fights, what goes through your mind at a time like this? I know you're listening to music, just enjoying the whole thing. ¿Estás disfrutando de todo? ¿Qué atraviesa de tu mente en estos momentos?
Nada, tranquilo. Lo único que tengo ganas de subir a pelear ya y a ver qué sale. Si Dios quiere, vamos a salir bien.
He says that all he wants to do now is to go up and fight. He's very easy going at this moment. He's ready to go. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you, Fernando. I think these guys are trying to out-relax each other, De La Hoya and Chavez. Is there a title for that?
You know what? That's what the really great fighters do. They can relax when they need to. It's not so much the fight that really frees you. It's the pressure that really gets to you in these big fights like this. This is a mega event, and the pressure of that mega event can drive you crazy.
Well, back in this one, not so mega, but important to these guys. The NABF champion at 122 pounds is Erik Morales in red, a 20-year-old from Tijuana, Mexico. And the challenger is a former world champion of the WBC at this weight, Hector Acero Sanchez from the Dominican Republic, and now lives and fights out of New York. He's in black, Morales in red. We've got Acero Sanchez ahead on the cards, but he was rocked by Morales at the end of round 6, and we had a fairly quiet 7th round.
And a really important turning point in the total punches, round number 7. 38 thrown, landed only 9 for Morales, 24%. But Acero Sanchez only threw 24 punches and landed only 3 in the 7th round.
Morales jabbing effectively now, finding a little range. Acero Sanchez less elusive, Gil.
2 good stiff jabs by Morales. That should build his confidence a little bit.
Yeah, something he really said that tonight he was going to use all night long. He's rather forgotten that through the first 6 rounds.
Judges are Dickie Cole from Dallas, Bill Graham from Las Vegas, Al Siciliano from Las Vegas.
In the 7th round, he used that jab well. And here he is again in this 8th, using the jab. That jab is just, it is so important. It is vital to a good fighter, and especially to a fighter who wants to be a boxer like Erik Morales wants to be. Your jab, you control your opponent. You push him where you want his head to be. You steer him with that jab. You control the fight.
Morales just missed with a right hand on
Morales
combination.
just switched to southpaw. Now he's back again. Boxing orthodox. The crowd is getting a little restless. Both fighters being very, very cautious. Good right hand by Morales.
Morales is just, he wants to unload that right hand and try and knock Acero Sanchez out. The last 2 rounds, he's just been just probing with that left hand, trying to score the big right.
I don't know why they don't tell Morales to go to the body a lot more than he has been. Good right hand by Morales again.
And another, a little less on it, but scored it. Little puffiness on the left cheek now of Acero Sanchez. Over the top, Morales trying to land that right hand again. Jab scored by Morales, didn't follow up that time.
Yeah, but the final 10 seconds, both of them try to pour it on. Morales really lands that right hand.
That's the end of round number 8. Erik Morales bothered a little bit by the blood from the nose, and no doubt breathing problem for him. We're looking in the corner of Acero Sanchez, and you can see where that swelling has developed around his left eye and underneath it.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Tú entiendes lo que estamos diciendo? Ok, no podemos perder otro asalto. ¿Tú me entiendes? So, vamos a boxear. El único ganador está la mano. Hay que ganarlo. Ok?
You want to win.
Well, in the Acero Sanchez corner telling him you've got to box more to win. They see that he has been falling off in his production the last 3 rounds.
Combination.
But I think he's coming off his best round in a while. He moved well.
In the Morales corner. And then back to Acero Sanchez, and it's cooled off all the way down to 98 degrees here. These have been record temperatures the last couple of days in Las Vegas. It's always hot in June out here in the desert, but they have had record temperatures the last couple of days.
Tim, I think this fight is up for grabs right now. These last 4 rounds, whoever dominates is going to come out with his hand raised.
Yeah, and you heard the sense of urgency over in the corner of Acero Sanchez. They want their man to use a little bit more boxing, and I think what they're talking about is more spinning on the ball, not really boxing with your legs, not moving. Trying to keep loose now is Erik Morales. Total punches through round 8. Morales 362 thrown, 108 landed for 30%. Acero Sanchez 301 thrown, 131 landed for 44%. So Acero Sanchez is not throwing as many, but landing more.
But Morales punches much harder
Yeah, you know, and the great thing about boxing is that one punch is all it takes. You hit an opponent with a good right hand like Morales did back in that 6th round, your opponent could go down and it could be over.
Morales continuing to try to drop in that right hand and take Acero Sanchez out of here. He began the round by trying to lure him into the corner. So he's been less aggressive but more effective, not wasting his punches, and definitely, in my view, looking for the knockout blow. He knows he has hurt Acero Sanchez once, and no doubt he believes he can do it again and send him to the canvas.
Yeah, Acero Sanchez may perhaps be affected by this heat, because remember those first 3 rounds, remember how much movement he was giving, remember how difficult he was. We were even talking about what a difficult fighter he is to face, but here he's not giving as much movement as he did in those first 3.
Right, Sean. He's been much more flat-footed, especially since he took that shot in the 6th.
Yeah, you know, when you get hit with a good punch like that, it just takes the steam out of you. It just takes all the effectiveness out of you. It just makes you physically tired.
Under a minute to go in round number 9.
It also, as surprising as this sounds, it makes your eyelids so heavy. You can't hardly hold your eyes open. And remember, we looked into the face of Acero Sanchez back in that 7th round, and that's what he was showing us.
Morales is fighting a real smart round, too. He's just not winging punches. He's not falling for Sanchez's feints, waits for his opening, and then lands the punch.
Not wasting many punches. Nice little right-handed movement from Morales. Go around behind your opponent.
Final seconds of round number 9. Kind of a tough round to score, but Morales, in my view, has won the round there by being a little more aggressive. We're between rounds here, and meanwhile, look at this. This is live, folks. Julio Cesar Chavez conducting interviews here as he awaits his championship fight.
Oh, this is part of the mental preparedness that a fighter goes through. Right now, he wants to pump himself up, tell everybody, tell himself how good he is.
Well, it's one thing to talk to our Fernando Paramo, but to be so democratic as to go out there and just kind of talk to anybody nearby, that's pushing it.
He probably seeks them out. You know what? This is a fight for him where he says, this is for retribution for me. I want to prove to the people that I am not done.
But how many times have we seen the closed door deal with these champions?
Do not disturb.
Well, any time when I was training a fighter, that's what you would have seen.
Well, Julio Cesar Chavez, obviously very confident, very relaxed as he awaits Oscar De La Hoya's challenge in his 100th professional fight for Chavez. That's our feature fight coming up later here at Caesar's Palace.
Here are the CompuBot numbers for round 9. 28 punches thrown by Acero Sanchez with 29% landed. Morales 48 punches with 44% landed. Acero Sanchez has not punched as much the last few rounds. I thought he had a pretty good 8th round, but I think he is just getting out-punched in a fight where that's really hard to call.
Round number 10, there's a good right hand by Romero and a right behind it. Romero now again backing up Acero Sanchez and trying to spring to the advantage here, backs him to the corner and lands another right hand. Acero Sanchez bobbing and weaving, but Morales very patiently waiting for that clean shot.
He landed 2 good solid punches in that exchange, Tim.
Yeah, the combinations are what knock out your opponent, not the single shot. You got to punch in bunches.
Erik Morales, a champion in red, picking up his tempo here once he had Acero Sanchez hurt.
Yeah, and look what he's doing. Remember you talked the last round, Tim, about him changing his strategy? See what he's doing now is he's walking around behind Hector Acero Sanchez. He's getting the angle on him and then scoring. When you walk around behind your opponent like that, you can hit him without him hitting you. There he is again. Watch him move to the right. You go around to the right, your opponent has to reset. Great strategy to use against a right-handed fighter. Move away from his power. Oh, nice. Very nice right hand. Chopping.
And a minute to go in round number 10. Morales slowly but surely turning the fight back in his favor, on my card at least. I've given him the last 2 rounds. Still have Acero Sanchez ahead by a round. This is the 10th round, scheduled for 12 for the NABF 122-pound title. And good right hand catching Acero Sanchez coming in.
Yeah, landing more because the movement of Acero Sanchez has ceased.
Well, what Morales is doing now, he's fighting the way Sanchez is supposed to fight. He's making Sanchez lead. He's being very, very patient, and then landing his counter punches.
And that's all come about by this right-handed movement. Move around behind your opponent and then let him run into your punches. Score as he walks in.
That's the end of round number 10, and Erik Morales has evened the fight up on my card. How do you guys have it?
I have Morales 1 round ahead.
Yeah, I've got them all even now. With 2 rounds to go.
And I agree with Gil.
Yeah.
I've got Morales 1 round ahead. I thought Acero Sanchez came out quite strong in the first 3 rounds, and then he had a good round in the 8th. But for the most part, it's been the power of the champion that has confused that man, Hector Acero Sanchez.
Well, I scored the 7th round even, so I guess that's why I've got it all even at this point. So I think we're seeing it pretty much the same way, but there's 2 rounds left. Let's go back into the action in round 10 and watch Morales. Good left and a right. Boom. And another left.
The combination punches right on the mark, too. Watch.
Right hand and the left hook. Both good, solid punches.
Try to hit your opponent right on the point of the chin. Oh, that hurts.
Round number 11. So if we're anywhere near correct, seeing it the way the judges are, this fight should be decided in the final 2 rounds. There's a good left jab from Acero Sanchez that lands.
Just not offensive enough, Sanchez. And he's being outpatiened by Morales, because Morales is no longer lunging and falling into Sanchez's traps. He's being patient.
Yeah, you see the learning ability of a young champion in Erik Morales. Only 22-0, 18 KOs, but you see him adapt round by round. And this movement from him in the last 2 rounds over to the right has been terrific.
Yeah, it's a very difficult way to move.
Yes.
Sean, some fighters cannot move to their right.
Yeah, it's difficult for a right-handed fighter. He wants to move to his left. It's an easier, more natural move. To move to your right, you have to go back against the grain.
That's right. Normally, you just follow your jab around with your left foot. So to go to the right is not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Takes tremendous concentration. Total punches through 10 rounds. Morales 479. Acero Sanchez 363. Landed 157 for Morales, 153 for Acero Sanchez, 33% for Morales, 42% for Acero Sanchez. So Sanchez has a higher percentage, but the power is obviously from Erik Morales. Some stunning right hands.
Little blood from the nose again that he continues to wipe away Morales.
Staggering right hand back in the 6th round and again in the 10th round from Erik Morales. And he did a terrific job of setting those right hands up.
See how patient he's being now? Sean is just content to stay out there, feint.
Power in the left hand, too. Good combination. The punches should land bing, bing. Not one at a time. Very nice.
Under a minute to go in round 11. Some good defensive work by Acero Sanchez, bobbing and weaving away from that combination from Morales.
The only problem with that, Tim, he's not aggressive enough and he's not scoring any punches of his own.
Yeah, he's at the wrong distance. 90% of the power of the punch is right on the end. When you back up from long-armed fighters, tall, slender fighters like Erik Morales, you get into their danger zone. 72-inch reach for Morales, 70 inches for Hector Acero Sanchez. Morales at 5'8", 1 inch taller than Acero Sanchez, and he's punching down.
Morales growing in confidence here. We're in the 11th round. The champion, as we see it, has turned the fight back in his favor. Final seconds, and there's the bell for round 11. And now all three of us have Morales ahead with 1 round to go. Let's see how the judges view it. Dickie Cole, Bill Graham, and Al Siciliano. In the corner of Erik Morales.
Este juego estamos Las Vegas que jugarte las bolas, ¿entiendes? ¿Entiendes? Suelta el gancho de derecha arriba para que lo levante.
Do you understand that? This is the last round.
Último round, hazle combinaciones, presiona, cierra el último round.
This is the last round. You have to use a combination. We feel that we're winning, but don't trust your luck.
That's the corner of
Keep the pressure on him.
Hector Acero Sanchez speaking. Angel De Jesus, Nelson Fernandez, Quinto Soto, Fernando Sanchez over in the corner of Hector Acero Sanchez.
The way I have to fight now with Sean, Sanchez would have to have at least a 2-point round to bring this back to a draw.
Yeah, but
and the way he's been boxing, he really hasn't dominated any round where it'd get a 2-point round.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. The higher percentage by Acero Sanchez, but Morales landing more shots. You know, nothing wins fights more than landing punches. You hit your opponent. The idea of boxing is to hit and not get hit. Real difficult to win rounds and win fights when you are a defensive fighter. Oh, how effective a jab would be.
Well, you know, fighters usually start out early in the fight jabbing. By the end of the fight, they forget their jab. And that's when the jab is most effective, when the other guy is tired.
Especially in this kind of fight, on this kind of night.
Little cut to the corner of the right eye of Morales now. Didn't see heads bang there, so it may have been open with a blow, as far as I know it was.
And a small cut from inside the nose, too.
Yeah, that's been bothering him for a while, but not anything too serious from there. He's brushed it away with his hand a few times.
You have to give both these guys credit. Morales is still bouncing around. 12th round in this heat. Had to be in excellent condition. And Sanchez not bad either.
Hector Acero Sanchez, a former world champion, challenging for the NABF crown held by Erik Morales. Morales in red. Acero Sanchez from the Dominican Republic in black.
Obviously, in Morales' corner, they told him to box. You got the fight won. Just don't take any chances, because that's the way he's fighting this round. Nice combination by Morales.
Look at that, in and then out. Excellent work. You know, a lot of times when you relax, and if you have the fight won, you go out and relax, and you just try to put your punches in there without putting the full force behind them. A lot of times you just relax and hit the sweet spot. You land on your opponent, you knock him out.
Morales 22-0, unbeaten coming into this fight with 18 knockouts, and obviously content to settle for a decision here against the very difficult Hector Acero Sanchez. That is, of course, providing the judges see it the way we do. It's not a huge advantage at this point in the final round. Should still be fairly close scoring, but we have Morales in front.
Real chess match. Two championship fighters not wanting to make a mistake and looking for that perfect opening.
Final seconds of the bout. And there it is. 12 rounds of boxing for the NABF Super Bantamweight Championship at 122 pounds. Erik Morales. And, of course, the corner of Acero Sanchez holding him up as their projected winner. Let's see what the judges have to say. Dickie Cole of Dallas, Bill Graham, and Al Siciliano of Las Vegas will render the official verdict. 20-year-old Erik Morales from Tijuana, Mexico. Hector Acero Sanchez, 26 years of age, from the Dominican Republic, now living in the Bronx, New York.
Well, this is a good feeling. You have the fight behind you, but you're a little bit worried, especially if you're Hector Acero Sanchez. Here are the numbers. Throughout 12 rounds, 414 punches thrown, 177 landed, 43% for Acero Sanchez. Morales, 571, 190 landed, only 33% of his punches.
Of course, you don't score on the percentage of the punches landed. That's not how boxing is scored. The judges will take into consideration the effectiveness of those punches, knockdowns if they occurred, etc. So do not be deceived. We have scored the fight for Morales, even though he had a fewer punches landed as according to CompuBox. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, we go to the scorecards. Dick Cole scores the bout 118 to 111. Al Siciliano scores at 118 to 110. And Bill Graham scores at 118 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision. And still, NABF Super Bantamweight Champion, Erik
Well, the judges are even more generous to the champion Erik Morales than we were. And Erik Morales, unanimous decision, moves to 23-0 with 18 knockouts, and I'm sure content to have a decision victory over the elusive and very talented Hector Acero Sanchez, a difficult guy to fight. And young Erik Morales gained a world of experience against the veteran Acero Sanchez while retaining his NABF crown. Well, next up here is going to be heavyweight action, and